Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. And tomorrow night, live on the WWE Network, there will be 2 Elimination Chamber matches. One men's, which will decide the #1 contender for Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. And one women's, who will decide the Raw Women's Champion and who will go in to WrestleMania 34 as said champion. But before it's time to lock the participants in the pods, before it's time to make history, before it's time to step inside the Elimination Chamber, it's time for the rundown! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the official rundown for Raw brand exclusive pay-per-view WWE Elimination Chamber, which of course will be streaming live tomorrow night on the WWE Network, with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to dive straight into the matches. Oddly enough, there has only been 5 matches announced for Elimination Chamber, and 1 segment with Ronda Rousey's contract signing. Obviously, the ticket sales have not been doing too well. Whose fault is that? Vince McMahon. Anyway, let's get into the matches. So, one match was actually announced yesterday, and it was Titus Worldwide versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. I actually like the chemistry that these 2 teams have had, so I actually hope we do get a decent match out of those 2 teams. I know it's a long shot. I really know it's a long shot, but I just can't stand The Bar. And I know it's going to be a long shot. I know you're probably going to say, "Oh, that's never going to happen." Titus Worldwide. I'm calling it. I don't care. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm right. Just get the titles off The Bar. I'd rather have The Bar as singles competitors. Cesaro and Sheamus should really be singles competitors. After their second Raw Tag Team title reign, and they lost it to Ambrose and Rollins, they should have split up. That should have been it. I don't care. I'm calling Titus Worldwide straight down the middle. Next, let's actually dive into an Elimination Chamber match, shall we? The Raw Women's Championship Elimination Chamber match. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose versus Mickie James versus Bayley. I'm really not sure how this is going to go. It's really a hit or miss. Obviously, the women on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, obviously the booking has been horrendous. The booking has been absolutely horrible. I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but this is actually even worse booking than in 2009 when they were called Divas. I know. But I'm sorry. That's the way it feels. That's the way it looks like, at least. But the match, it should be decent. I'm not saying it's going to be the best Elimination Chamber of all time, but it should be somewhat decent. They should. Obviously, the women have been working their asses off as of lately, trying to give you guys at least something to care about, but WWE has given you nothing to care about as far as the women go. But the match, I'm really not sure how it's going to start. My guess is that Alexa Bliss will somehow find her way into a position where she enters last in the chamber. Either that, she's either entering last or she's entering first. Because I really don't see any other way that that's going to work out. But as far as the match goes, should be decent, should have a couple decent spots in it. And this is the same exact situation with The Bar. Same exact situation with The Bar. Just get the title off of Alexa Bliss. I honestly cannot stand Alexa Bliss as the Raw Women's Champion anymore. She should have never won it back. Sasha Banks should have held the Raw Women's Championship all the way up until December or the Royal Rumble, where she could have given it to Nia Jax. Nia Jax could have held the championship all the way to WrestleMania. You could have built up something with Nia Jax and Bayley, Nia Jax and Sasha, Nia Jax and Mickie James. Or you could have built up Sasha Banks holding the title till the Royal Rumble. Bayley wins it. And then you set up for Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania. How is it that I can come up with better ideas in 4 minutes? Meanwhile, WWE, they have all the time in the world to come up with all of these great ideas, and then when they actually present it on television, it ends up blowing up in their face. I feel as though that's been the highlight of 2017, and so far, it looks to be the highlight of 2018, with the exception of the Royal Rumble. I hope the match turns out decent. I'd give the title to Bayley. You know why? Exactly what I said before. Give the title to Bayley. That way, Sasha Banks has a clear-cut reason to turn heel. She turns heel on Bayley, and then, boom. Heel Sasha Banks, face Bayley. The Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34. Honest to God, who wants to see Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34? We've already seen it once on Monday Night Raw, and it was boring. It was boring. It did nothing. And it made Alexa Bliss look weak. They've been making Alexa Bliss look weak ever since she lost the title to Sasha Banks at SummerSlam. She's overstayed her welcome as a champion. On Monday Night Raw, specifically. Put the title on Bayley. That is the best route to go. Put it on Bayley, and then boom. Heel Sasha Banks, Sasha Bayley, WrestleMania 34, Raw Women's Championship. Sasha wins. Sasha can win at WrestleMania, and you have a great moment. You have a great moment where you could play off a storyline with Sasha Banks and Bayley going into Money in the Bank. Have the blow-off match at Money in the Bank. Maybe you can even build up Sasha versus Bayley again at SummerSlam. You could have Bayley go on like a Road to Redemption tour, look for some redemption, and get her redemption at SummerSlam against Sasha Banks. Relive the magic that they did in Brooklyn. Transfer it from TakeOver Brooklyn to SummerSlam. Simple. Simple, but yet they don't want to do it. Moving on. We have Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Obviously, after they gave away the match on Raw 25, obviously, this may be the bathroom break match, unfortunately. I mean, I can't even stress how much they ruined Bray Wyatt already. They completely ruined Woken Matt Hardy by having him lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. Regardless, obviously, it should still be a solid match. Obviously, the match at the Royal Rumble between the Bar, Rollins, and Jordan, it was still a solid match. Still a solid match, but in the end, they put it on after the Men's Royal Rumble. Which in reality, the Women's Royal Rumble should have started the show. Then you could have gone from there with the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, Raw Tag Team titles, WWE title, Universal title, Men's Royal Rumble. That's what they should have done at the Rumble, but they had to have the first time ever Women's Royal Rumble, main event the Royal Rumble, for whatever reason. And then Ronda Rousey came out, and you know how that played out. Ronda Rousey's only made one appearance, and already people are booing her. Why is that? Why are people booing Ronda Rousey this early? Because WWE is only bringing in Ronda Rousey to generate buzz. I swear to God, I swear, I can just, I feel it already. I feel it already. She is going to become the female Brock Lesnar. We already have one. We don't need another one. And you're going to use Rousey to end Asuka's streak at SummerSlam. Asuka's streak should have been ended by one woman and one woman only. At least in my eyes. Ember Moon. She is the only woman worthy of ending Asuka's streak based on how they booked her in that match at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. I actually thought that she should have won based on her performance. But no, they wanted to keep Asuka undefeated, which I don't really mind at this rate because she's going into WrestleMania and more than likely she's going to face Charlotte. But I'm actually jumping around now a bit. I was talking about Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Should still be a solid match. I'm not really expecting anything special other than a solid match. I mean, Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins ended up putting on a decent match at Great Balls of Fire, and the build was horrendous. So this may be the same exact scenario, depending on when they put it. Obviously, they could put it right after one of the Elimination Chambers, which wouldn't shock me. But regardless, I actually hope it turns out okay. As far as the winner goes, to be quite honest, I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. Because obviously you have the rumors of Jeff Hardy returning very, very soon. And they should be going into WrestleMania challenging for the Raw Tag Team titles. So, if I was to pick someone right out of the gate, it's hard to choose, but you know, I'm just going to go with Woken Matt Hardy. Because at this rate, when has Bray Wyatt ever won a big-time matchup? Bray Wyatt hasn't won a big-time matchup since the Elimination Chamber of last year. And what did he do with that? Absolutely nothing. They had him job out to Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It still gets under my skin how they allowed that to slip out of their fingers. But I'm going to go with Woken Matt Hardy. Woken Matt Hardy's going to beat Bray Wyatt. At least that's how I see it. Let's actually talk about the Ronda Rousey contract signing. From the way that things are looking, obviously reported by Dave Meltzer and a couple of other wrestling news sources, Ronda Rousey is looking to head into WrestleMania, and she is going to be facing off against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, and Ronda Rousey will have a partner of her choosing. If the stars are going to align for someone to take that spot, and it's not The Rock, then I would actually expect Braun Strowman. Mainly because of the fact that Seth Rollins looks to be heading down a road where he's going to face Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, which I wouldn't mind. I would actually love to see that match. Finn Balor is taking on The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Where is Braun going to fit into everything? The tag team match with Triple H, Stephanie, and Ronda. And since Ronda doesn't really know all that much about wrestling, you can have Braun Strowman get in there, get a good amount of time in there. Ronda Rousey can just get her prime spots, and we can go from there. Ronda Rousey will slowly get better. But obviously, she's got to stick around for a while. It can't just be squash, and then she leaves for 2 months. Then she comes back, squashes, leaves again. This is what Brock Lesnar has been doing his entire run since he came back in 2012. But obviously, it is going to end in some type of fashion where everything's just going to come crumbling down on Ronda Rousey. Stephanie McMahon's going to do what Stephanie McMahon does best and bury talent on live television. And then we are going to set the stage, and the spark is going to start, and we're going to get rolling on the road to WrestleMania, which is going to culminate in a tag team match between Braun, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. And more than likely, I would rather have Ronda choose her partner rather than Braun Strowman just getting inserted into the mix based on what happened between him and Triple H at Survivor Series, because they never followed up on that. Moving on to Asuka vs Nia Jax. Now, this match took place on Monday Night Raw. I believe it was a little bit before the Royal Rumble, and it ended with Nia Jax not being able to make it back into the ring, I think. She wasn't able to make it back into the ring, or she wasn't able to continue based on the fact that Asuka kicked her leg out from under her, and she hit the inside of her leg on the steel steps. So, obviously, this is Nia Jax looking for some redemption, and if Nia Jax wins, then she is going to be inserted into the championship match that Asuka is competing at WrestleMania 34. There is no doubt in my mind that Asuka is going to win this. If Asuka does not win this, WWE has screwed up yet another streak. Obviously, I know Asuka's streak needs to end at some point, but not now. There's only one streak. There's only one streak that I said should not have been ended, and that was The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. That should never have been ended. As far as Asuka goes, yeah, it's going to end someday, but it can't end at Nia Jax. Nia Jax is not in the position where she is worthy of ending Asuka's streak. Nia Jax is only there to enhance Asuka's streak, just like they did with Asuka at WrestleMania not WrestleMania, in NXT, with TakeOver the End and a couple of episodes in NXT as well. As far as the match goes, should be a good match, should be one of the better matches that aren't one of the chambers. And I expect Asuka to come out victorious against Nia Jax some way, somehow. Probably not at the hands of the Asuka lock, but probably like a spinning back kick or one of those roundhouse kicks that Asuka uses. She's been using some roundhouse kicks as a way to just quickly defeat someone. Maybe she might do it with an armbar. She's been winning a lot of matches with armbars as of lately, so I really wouldn't expect any different from Asuka other than to win it with an armbar instead of the Asuka lock. But we're going to see how it plays out. Should be a decent match. That's not one of the chambers. Now, onto the men's Elimination Chamber. Do I think it is going to be a great match? Yeah, you better believe it. You better believe this is going to be a great match. It's going to be a fantastic match. This may be one of the best matches of the year. But am I all that excited for it? Absolutely not. Now, some people may ask why. Plain and simple fact. Because we all know who the winner's going to be. Based on the report that Meltzer made earlier this week about why Rollins got so much offense and got such a shining performance in that gauntlet match, is not because of the fact that Rollins is going to go into WrestleMania and it's going to be a triple threat match between Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar. Because Rollins is getting a push after WrestleMania. And, I should have known something like that was going to come out, but I really wasn't expecting it based on how great Seth Rollins did in that gauntlet match. I really thought they were going to pull the trigger and they were really going to go a decent route and go for Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar, which it should be, actually. Based on what happened at WrestleMania 31, Rollins was never officially in the match until he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. Can you imagine what Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar could do if it's a legit, straightforward triple threat match? It could even supersede the triple threat match that Rollins and Lesnar had with John Cena. Maybe even better. But no, they want to go ahead and give us Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 because they can't help. They can't help themselves. They can't take their hand away from Roman Reigns' ball sack. They just can't. Because that's Vince McMahon. I just hope the only good thing that can come out of this, if Roman wins this chamber, the only good thing that can come out of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns will not get another coronation at WrestleMania 35. The only good thing that can come out of WrestleMania 34 with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is that we will not have to sit through another WrestleMania main event with Roman Reigns, at least for a while. At least for a while. If Roman Reigns, if they actually, I could talk about this forever. I really could. But I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over and over and over and over and over again. If Roman Reigns really would have just taken his time, or if they would have just really taken their time with Roman Reigns and slowly introduced him into the main event scene, maybe I wouldn't be so critical about Roman Reigns being in the main event scene. But the fact is, he's been in the main event scene for God knows how long. God knows how long, and I'm sick and tired of seeing him in that prime position. That position should go to guys like Strowman and Joe and Balor and Rollins. Even The Miz. I'd take The Miz over Roman Reigns. I'd rather take The Miz being in the main event of every single pay-per-view of 2018 than sit through another one of Roman Reigns' WrestleMania main events. Might I mention, he had 2 of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time in Triple H and The Undertaker. Back-to-back years, might I add. Is the chamber going to be good? You better believe this chamber's going to be good. 7 men. Roman, Rollins, Balor, Elias, Cena, Miz, Strowman. 7 of the top guys on Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a damn good match. But the outcome sure as hell ain't going to be satisfying. I don't even need to say who's going to come out victorious because I think everyone has gotten the memo. Regardless, that's the end of the rundown for Elimination Chamber. Hopefully, I won't be doing as much complaining during this rundown as I will in the in the rundown for Fastlane. Hopefully the rundown for Fastlane will be a bit better. Hopefully the rundown for Fastlane will be a bit more positive. Regardless, I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheDJStorms. Do not forget to check out the Lightning Flash update, which I posted yesterday. Do not forget to check out the rundown for Fastlane, which I will post on March 10th, 2018. And do not forget, WrestleMania, as I stated yesterday on the Lightning Flash update, March 24th, 2018, I will be attending WrestleMania at Felician University, and I will be interviewing multiple wrestlers, including a former WWE superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown.